Money, Money, Money Insurance Special, co-presented by Exide Life Insurance.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Money, Money, Money. I'm Sumaira Abdi. So we've been speaking about health insurance all through last week, and that's a theme that we're going to continue this week as well, because not only is it important, but it is a vast subject, and it's something that needs a little bit more attention than just another policy. Harshvardhan Roongta of Roongta Securities is back with us this week to carry forward this discussion. Hi Harsh, welcome back. So last week we spoke about two kinds of policies essentially. One of them is that you're reimbursed for the amount of expenses that you incur. Then we spoke about the defined benefit plans as well, where you get a lump sum, whatever be the illness, and accordingly. Are there any other kinds of policies that policyholders can actually go and buy? I mean, besides just these two?
Well, Sumaira, interestingly, the terminology health insurance is mostly misunderstood to be covering only hospital expenses reimbursement, but that's not the truth. In fact, there are 4 options available in different forms. Some may be in a standalone policy, some may be as a combination product. However, the benefits are given as follows. Like we spoke about Mediclaim. We spoke about policies which reimburse your actual expenses incurred in a hospital. So these are indemnity based, and this is what we've already spoken last week. The other 3 are all defined benefit. Now, one being, as we spoke, a critical illness, which is the moment you're diagnosed of a particular ailment which is enlisted in the policy, a lump sum amount will be paid out to you, irrespective of whether you've been hospitalized or no. The third is again a defined benefit, but it is linked to a surgery that you're advised to undergo. So it's called a major surgical benefit, kind of a policy, wherein if you're advised to undergo a particular surgery and which is enlisted in your policy and covered in your policy, in that case you will make a claim with your Mediclaim that you will get an actual expenses which have been reimbursed. Over and above that, your major surgical benefit will actually pay you again a defined lump sum amount in your hand. This is over and above your Mediclaim reimbursement. The third is a hospital daily cash benefit. So while you're hospitalized, there are certain non-medical expenses that you incur, such as there could be, you could have refreshments, there are other expenses that you incur while you're in hospital. So this hospital daily cash benefit policy, freezes a particular amount, fixes a particular amount that you will get per day of your hospitalization. So it could be a 1,000 rupees, it could be a 4,000 rupees per day. So irrespective of whatever treatment you're undergoing, if you've been hospitalized for X number of days with a waiting period, you will be getting per day of hospitalization, you'll get a fixed amount in your hand. So these are the 4 essential types. Now you can buy them in individual if they're available as a standalone policies, or some of them have a combination, like you have a Mediclaim policy with a hospital cash benefit included in it. So there are combinations available, but these are primarily the 4 kind of options that policyholders have.
So if one were to buy them individually, what's the order in which one should be buying them, and how expensive are them, and what's the average premium for either of these?
Well, as we've already discussed, you cannot buy everything because there are other things in your life, in your personal financial life, that you need to address. So most important and the first option that you should definitely take is an expenses reimbursement policy, which is a Mediclaim or any other name that each insurance company gives. So this is basically whatever expenses you're going to incur, up to the sum insured, you will be entitled for reimbursement in a particular year. Once you're done with that, then you need to definitely buy a critical illness policy, defined benefit. If you're diagnosed of a particular ailment which is covered in the policy, you will be given a lump sum. We've discussed the purpose of that is basically to replace their loss of earning capabilities. Then you come down to a major surgical benefit. In case you still feel that there are funds that you have left to allocate for an health insurance product, then you may want to take some assistance and some kind of additional benefit in case you were to undergo a major surgery. And hospital cash benefit is a small benefit. It can be possibly added into some policy that you already have. From the cost perspective, again, Mediclaim, as I said, a 10 lakh policy would cost for a 30-year-old individual would be about 7,000 or 8,000 rupees. It should be around in that range for a 10 lakh sum insured. A critical illness, again, would be slightly around the same portion. Overall, if you look at the entire allocation, a 30-year-old, if he buys all the policies, the allocation would be about 25,000 rupees per annum. So you need to decide if you want to get into this kind of system or no.
And how does, if I'm buying a policy, how does one decide, do different policies have different waiting periods for the same illness, or is it standardized, or is it dependent on every individual insurer?
Well, by and large, you will see a category would be, would have the same kind of a waiting period. However, there could be some kind of ailments which will be having an exclusion of, say, 2 years in a policy A, and policy B would, say, possibly give it a 3-year waiting period. So there is a difference in the waiting period for the same ailment also. More confusing is that sometimes a particular ailment has been described and given a different medical terminology in one particular policy, and it's been given something else in another. So unless you have a medical history, it does not really matter much. In case you have a specific medical history in your family, then you may want to get into the details and understand the medical terminology put inside the policy, and then choose a company which has a lesser waiting period for that particular policy.
All right, fair enough. What happens if the disease relapses? Right? I mean, is there a specific number of days within which that claim will be settled, or over and above which the person is not liable for anything?
Well, every policy will specifically mention in the policy wordings, you will have any one illness. Okay, this basically defines that in case you have had a medical treatment and you are under continuous treatment, there could be some ailments which need continuous consultation. So you are in a continuous treatment period, or it relapses within, say, 45 days. So then it will be considered as any one illness. The implications are pretty large on this. Understand a situation, hypothetically, you were undergone a particular treatment, and your policy expires after 15 days of that treatment. And if it case relapses again, within the 45 days, it is considered as any one illness.
Okay.
In other cases, in cases of waiting period, if you have a waiting period in which you have the first treatment was taken within the waiting period, within 45 days the waiting period has the 2-year waiting period has completed, and it relapses again, it will again be taken as any one illness. So any one illness does have a lot of implication on your claim and waiting period, and that is considered as, say, 45 days currently.
All right, so since you brought up the issue of claim, there's of course cashless and reimbursement. Now, cashless, as its name says, is very simple to understand. What about reimbursement? If someone's making a claim, how do they go about it? And in real terms, is it very cumbersome?
Well, there are certain procedures to follow. Now, if you are going in for a cashless, the hospital in which you're going to be admitted has an insurance desk present over there which assists you in the entire process. When it comes to cashless, well, you have to be very careful about the procedures you need to follow, because your claim can be refuted if you do not follow that process. So the normal procedure says the moment you're admitted, within a specified time, which is, say, 24 hours, you need to intimate the insurance company that you have been admitted. You will file your claim documents in the due course, but you have been admitted. Then, while discharge, you need to make sure that all your bills, receipts, all the documents are being accumulated in one place, because that is what you will need to submit to the insurance company. Your discharge papers, you may possibly go ahead one step ahead and take the indoor case papers. All hospitals make their indoor case papers the moment everybody. So you can take a certified copy of that and submit it along with your claim in case you need to expedite it. Then comes the period within which you need to submit those documents. Now, which in most cases has been unreasonably set at 7 days. The policy documents say that after your discharge, within 7 days, you're supposed to file all these documents before the insurance company for getting the claim. Now, and obviously their IRDA has given a guideline saying that this timeline should not be strictly followed, and a claim cannot be rejected merely because it was not given in 7 days.
Yeah, but as you rightly mentioned, it's a nuisance value, because then you have to go and approach perhaps the regulator or the grievance cell, and it just becomes a very, very lengthy process. But I guess on that note, it's time for us to take a very quick break. We'll come back in a bit. Harshvardhan will stay on with us, and he's going to answer some of the queries sent in by our viewers. Stay tuned to Money, Money, Money.
Money, Money, Money Insurance Special, co-presented by Exide Life Insurance.